let's get back to our reincarnation discussion, though, shall we? So you understand that deja vu, a lot of deja vu is all about this spirit world state and existence. Drop that out. The next thing we covered, I think, was having special knowledge. Knowledge of things, places, events, and so forth. Without having ever learned this knowledge. Now, a lot of people feel that is proof of reincarnation. I don't feel it's proof of reincarnation. I call it proof of spirit influence. Proof that spirits are easily conversing with you and dropping thoughts or ideas into your mind. Some of them might be true, some of them may not be. It just depends on which spirits you're communicating with at which time. Now, the problem with many spirits in the spirit world, there's a common thought on earth that if you die, you automatically know everything after you've died. And that is definitely false. And the reason why I know for certain is I've talked to thousands, hundreds of thousands of spirits over my lifetime, millions of spirits over my lifetime, and most of them do not know what you think they know. They'll make out they know, though, just like a lot of people on earth make out they know. Yes? So you know how you go up to a person on earth, and if the person's sort of a kind of person that is always quite arrogant, he can't admit that he's making a mistake, that kind of person. And you go up to him and you say, did you realise that you drove on the opposite side of the road that you should have? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And he'll come up with all sorts of reasons why he was wrong. Is that not true? It's very much the same for many spirits. Many spirits will come to you, give you information, some of which will be true, and some of it which will be completely false, but they will believe it to be true. And if you trust it without knowing, or without knowing what is true, then it can be quite dangerous at times, right? So I feel anything to do with special knowledge is proof of spirit influence in some way. I have seen people, and maybe you have too, seen people just all of a sudden change, and all of a sudden it's like they're a different person talking to you. Have you ever seen that happen? Mm-hmm. Right? Where somebody will be talking to you, and then all of a sudden it's like talking to a different person now. And sometimes it's so different that it even looks like you're talking to a man, or like the opposite gender to the person that you were just speaking with, even though they're in maybe a feminine body. You're now seeing the face almost of a male, like the face goes all masculine. And that is also an indication of spirit influence. It's got nothing to do with past lives, it's got everything to do with spirit influence and overcloaking. Rob?
It's happened 3 times
if
in my life.
Just wait for the mic to get to you. Yeah.
3 times in my life that the person in front of me turned to a monster.
Yes.
I know what you talked about. It's a familiar person, but these 3 times it was a really something.
Yes.
In 2 seconds, or so I was screaming.
And what's happening there is a spirit or group of spirits around that person is influencing the person so much that now they are feeling the emotions of those group of spirits so much that when you look at them, the spirits will project at you through your third eye chakra, your spirit body's eyes. The spirits will project a picture of what they look like, and usually it's to scare the living daylights out of you, basically, so that you respond in fear. Right? And many spirits do this all the time. This is one of the ways or tools that they have to control people, is to make people feel afraid.
Was it to control me, to scare me from them? Because it was people near me.
To scare you?
So I
from
don't stay with them. I mean the friends.
Yeah, remember, every time somebody uses fear to control you, in other words, by getting angry with you, they are using fear, your fear, to control you. Whenever somebody's doing that, they are actually desiring control. Right? So many times spirits they look at a relationship on earth where you might be in a relationship with a person on earth, whatever that relationship is. It might be husband, wife, partner, could be friends, whatever. When the spirits feel that they're potentially losing control of the situation or of the person, they will try to use fear as a tool to get control back. Yeah. And they will often do this very strongly to really frighten a person so that they have control of the situation back. And if you think about the relationship, it was a person who wanted control. Yeah. And you can see the influence that happened over the top of them to try to regain this control.
I saw once. Sorry. I was living in an apartment for 3 years, and suddenly somebody called me, and behind me I could see very big black eyes looking at me, and then I discovered there was something in the apartment that was making me sick, because since I was living there I was ill, like half paralyzed. Mm-hmm. So
which side of your body?
Right. Mm-hmm. Actually, just for 4 weeks was my face, and then later just my body. Mm-hmm. So after that call, that person was telling me that she was going to come to measure the energy in the apartment. And when she came, she discovered that this Wichelhude, I don't know, that normally open when it's very positive, it was crossed everywhere in the apartment. Mm-hmm. So I discovered that it was a very bad place to live, that everybody could get cancer living there. So, but these eyes were lost. This apartment was possessed by the demon or so. After I left the place, I got better.
Yes, and these things happen.
Yeah.
And all it is a spirit, a male spirit in this case. And the fact that he affected the right side of your body indicates that it's a male spirit. If it was the left side of your body, it would indicate that it's a female spirit. Right? But the male spirit wanted his apartment back. He's somebody who's lived there obviously before or taken up residence there. And he wanted his apartment back, and he didn't like a woman living in it.
And the neighbor got paralyzed on the right side. The neighbor on the next door. What was it?
Well, I would say that this spirit is affecting quite a number of people in the apartments because he doesn't want them living there. And I'd say he's very angry with women, and for that reason trying to kick out any woman out of his apartment. He's earthbound. He still believes he's alive on earth, and he feels that you're in his apartment. You understand?
Okay.
Because he doesn't realise he's died. So he feels that you're in his apartment, and then a lot of people like that who are earthbound get very, very angry with the persons in their apartment or in their house, and then they try to do all sorts of things to kick them out of their apartment or house.
And then you have to go. That's the only...
No, you don't have to go. You can talk to the spirit and explain to him that he's died, and you can do all sorts of things other than going. But most people get so scared and they don't know the truth, so they go. Right? And how many of you have seen the movie, the one with Nicole Kidman in it? The Others. Have you seen that movie? Others? Yeah. That movie is explaining that feeling that these spirits have. If you imagine you don't know that you've died, and you imagine you're living in your house that you bought it, and then people walk in and they ignore you, how would you feel? Well, most of us would feel very upset and angry, wouldn't we? And that's exactly what these spirits feel. And then if they have the chance to hurt you some way through an openness in your own body, they will. So if they can hurt you through your injuries with men, which you have, open in the right side of your body, then they will attempt to hurt you through that right side. It doesn't mean that they are nasty spirits who are hurting everybody. They are just wanting to kick you out of their house. And once you talk to them and explain the whole situation to them, a lot of times they realise what happened, and they go through some emotional experiences, and then they don't even want to be on Earth anymore anyway. So we can help spirits a lot by just knowing the truth of what's actually going on. Corolla? No, just wait.
Not a question.
Wait.
Okay.
Thank you.
People ask me to go to a house to help them get rid of the spirits, and often it gets quiet, and
While
I
you're
feel
there.
that they are hiding.
Yes.
And then it's calm, but I don't do anything. They just sit there and they don't say anything sometimes, and then it starts all over again.
Once you leave.
And now
Or
it can
after
be
a little bit
a
of
calm week or some. Shall I ask for another help to help them because they're hiding from me, or?
Can I suggest to you, Corolla, and this is something that is going to be a little confronting for you.
Yes.
Because of your anger, you have with you spirits who are also quite angry. Other spirits are afraid of them. This is one reason why your friends asked you to come to our house, because the spirits in their house are afraid of the spirits with you.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes that means that those spirits will move out, or other times it means they'll just go quiet and try not to do anything or say anything that would upset the spirits that are with you.
Yes.
You follow? When you walk out the house, then they can play as they normally do again, until you walk back in the house, and then they're all silent again, because they're worried about the angry spirits with you.
Okay.
The way to truly help a spirit move out of the location is to explain the truth to them with love and humility. That's the way to help the spirit to get out of the location. And so it means sitting down and conversing with the spirits and helping them understand that they've passed, that they've died, and helping them understand. And a lot of times what I do is help them remember when they died. So take them through the process of their death. Because a lot of times death happens so sort of suddenly, without any pain, that people don't understand that they've actually died. And because, unfortunately, on the earth we don't have very many conclusive ideas about what happens when you die, most people on earth, when they die, stay on the earth still, waiting for somebody to show them the truth about what's actually happened. And if you can show them the truth of what's happened, and you can do that in a loving manner, taking care with their emotions, and they'll often go through some emotions, and then they won't want to stay on the earth anymore. And what I often do is introduce them to relatives who have passed, who can come and visit them, or introduce them to spirits who I know who are good spirits, who can come and talk with them about more truth. And often they go off with that spirit and they never come back then. Yeah. And in fact, none of them ever come back to that location, except maybe to visit the occupants of the home to say sorry and things like that. But aside from that, they generally don't ever come back. Can you see that understanding the spirit world and understanding your sleep state goes a long way to answering questions about reincarnation? Can you see that? And this is what most people on earth have not a very clear idea of what happens when they're in a spirit state. They don't have any idea about spirits themselves and what happens when you die. And because they don't have much of a clear idea about what happens when you die, we often then accept a heap of belief systems that are more easily explained with far more simple explanations. And this is what I'm proposing to you.